but it might be the badass way, right? Just walk up to the main doors and just barge right in. Let's do that. Welcome, travelers of the internet, to Brighthelm Recording. This is your host, Master Barkle, playing The Pillars of Eternity. And last we left off, we were in Craigholt. I learned how to pronounce it correctly. It's a German umlaut, is what that A is. Anyways, we've stopped the siege. We've defeated just about everyone, archmages and torn bannermen alike. I think we did a pretty good job just looting up the place. But while we were at it, we also received visions of something far more sinister in the north, or in the west. No, east. I forget my map information. And we need to find information about the army in Stalwart. I don't remember an army in Stalwart. It was just a little fishing village, essentially. But first, a warm bed would be nice. Let's head back to Cadnua. Oh, crap.
I must say, I'm impressed.
Green lands. It's been such a long while since I've seen these places. I wonder if my, everything's going okay. Azuro, you wanted to talk with me. Good tidings, my lord. I am Azuro, famed merchant purveyor of many valuable, and dare I say, rare objects. And so I would like to remain. I have an urgent matter to discuss with you. Something you'll want resolved as quickly as I'm certain. Okay, well, let's hear it. Call your allies together and motion for the petitioner to step forward. It's these bandits, my lord. The roads are absolutely crawling with them, and they have the local merchants in a fright. I'm having trouble filling out my stock. My suppliers say the risk is too great. Nobody wants to hear that the fineries sent out for delivery have been stolen by unwashed brigands. If I have no goods to sell, I cannot make a living. Nor can I offer you the many special items normally at my disposal. Well, alright. Yeah, I agree. The brigands are a bit of a problem. They steal all my taxes. Yes, my lord. What is it you have planned? What is this option? That doesn't solve any problems. My name is worth of these parts. I'll personally ensure the delivery and cover all losses that incur. That should allay any fears. Yeah, it's only 5,000. It's okay. It's worth it. Quite. A more generous offer these suppliers have never heard. I'll warrant. Thank you. I'll have more goods to offer you in short order. I'm sure of it. Oh, yeah. Kabamo. Fixed. Oh yeah, the Hellwax mold. That allows me to duplicate an item. That was a lot of money. Now we're off for the White March again. Okay, back in Stalwart. Oh.
While we wait, the enemy grows stronger.
And you'd send more of us to die.
Well, I'm not gonna stand around. Are you?
You've done plenty, Darian.
What? What's going on here? You approach... You approach the source of the commotion and see a throng of villagers. They're arguing amongst themselves and hurling questions and demands at a lone figure perched above them. A young man stands on a spur of rock, his clenched fist held aloft. Steam rises from from his wild hair and fleshed face as he shouts to the gathering.
Been a week since our people left these gates. A week since the Iron Flail took them.
He paces the outcropping, his eyes burning. You see a few scattered nods in the crowd.
Yet we wait here behind our sturdy new walls, hiding in our rebuilt homes. We've done nothing.
He brings his fist into his palm with a sharp smack. The crowd erupts, bristling with pointed fingers and pointed words. One woman steps forward, her eyes lock on the young man.
Who are you to tell us how to defend our own? You ain't been here 2 months!
Several of the others grunt and hoot. You feel a shift in the crowd like a changing tide. What kind of argument is that, though? Like, he's trying to rabble-rouse you so that you can do some action.
Hey, an angry mob. See? We're not so far from home.
It would appear so.
And since I got here, I've been working alongside the rest of you. Don't start with that again.
A handful of others nod along with him, but they cringe and flinch as another villager joins the fray, shaking his finger at the young orator.
Well, it was your idea to send our people to that damned fort in the first place. If it weren't for you and the other leeches that come up with you, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Now we have the truth. There we go. The new accuser raises a chorus of furious cries. Darien raises his hands for calm, but the crowd's wrath is snowballing.
Enough.
Continue.
Enough.
Darien waves for calm, but the crowd has worked itself into a frenzy. He scans the assembly, beads of sweat rolling from his temples. His eyes fall on you, and he points.
You want to boot all the Outlanders from your town? Tell that to the hero of the White Forge.
Oh, I mean, hey, don't be turning the crowd on me.
Hey, it wasn't just me. This Watcher deserves at least a little credit.
No one seems to notice it there. A dozen heads turn in your direction. The villagers recognize you, and their eyes widen with hope and reverence. What's this about a fort and an iron flail?
It's a small army from Raid Saris. They call themselves the Iron Flail.
At Darien's mention of the name, the rest of the crowd falls silent. The words trigger a sudden flashback to your dream of a mysterious army and the destruction of Cad Nua. As the image fades, you see once more the vision of 100 eyes watching you and something just beyond.
Showed up a few weeks after you opened the battery. Demanded we give him the White Forge.
Was I gone for a few weeks? Sure, we'll say what. He avoids your gaze and scraping his boot against a rock.
They're led by a Darek Sendamir. Comes from an old Raid Saren family. The rumor has it the man's half mad with visions. Claims one drove him here to take the White Forge.
I mean, it's possible.
In Zawa's experience, if one is only half mad with visions, the dose was too low.
Thank you for the insight, Zawa.
They're not the only bloodsuckers around here.
The villager glares up at Darien, but most of his fellows are ignoring him by now. So how is Darien a bloodsucker exactly?
Our crew at the battery locked their doors and told the Iron Flail to go back to Raid Saris. Instead, they built a fort in the middle of the wood. So we sent a committee to reason with them. But that was a week ago. We haven't seen our people since.
A low rumble ripples through the crowd. Darien hesitates. So where's Renengild?
That can only mean one thing.
He grimaces at this. The frightened, arguing crowd drowns him out once more. Well, the villagers shout and squawk louder than ever.
Please, everyone!
In the fragile silence that follows, the others turn and look at Darien.
Whatever our difference is, we've got to deal with the army at our gates.
Yeah, probably.
You've done a lot for Stalwart already. Many of us wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for you.
He breaks off, looking as if he'd like to stuff his words back into his mouth. After an uneasy pause, he swallows and continues.
What I mean is, if anyone could deal with an army, it's you.
Well, Okay. I've got my own business with this army, though. Like, if I end up killing them all, Ray and Saris might decide to declare war on you guys, not me. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. I'm a lord.
The Iron Flail cleared a patch of forest north of Durgan's battery, built their fort there.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be well guarded, so if you can get in without raising an alarm, you may have an easier time of it.
Alrighty.
The important thing is to deal with the commander. If you can get rid of him, the rest of the soldiers will scatter.
I think I've dreamed about their army.
What exactly did you see?
Dream was unclear. Instructions, not enough.
Of course. We're just thankful this dream led you back.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got our work cut out for us here.
It gives the crowd a purposeful look. Grumbling, they start to disperse.
While you're out, stop by the battery. Wangra and her team are still repairing the heavy cannons, but they've made a lot of progress elsewhere.
Okay.
Thought you might like to see how far it's come.
Yeah, it would be nice. Okay. Do you have new stock, sir? Yes, we opened it. That was a few weeks ago, sir. Didn't you notice it? Jeez. Is the town any different?
This is going to be fantastic. Just wait till they hear about this back home.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Lazies. What am I to do with all of these?
Who are you? A well-built dwarven woman stands before you, one hand on her head and the other holding a few sheets of paper. 3 complaints of blights in Whitestone Hollow. And who are these people? Mogren's faithful? Great, another pack of religious zealots. It's like they're popping up out of the snow these days. Oh, sorry, tall stag. Just a little preoccupied. Things may have quieted down with the ogres lately, but there's been no shortage of new trouble. Or work, for those interested. Just saying. Blights. Oh, you're a bounty lady. That's what you are. The terror of Whitestone Hollow. It's a grand blight that turned up after the avalanche. Real disaster, that. Great big heap of snow right on top of one of our main trade routes. We can't start fixing the roads until we get the blights out of there. Can't exactly ask you to bring back this thing's head, but word is the terror's last victim was a caravan master. Turns out the fellow always wore a certain brooch. Figured it's somewhere in that monstrosity's belly. Bring me the brooch and I'll take it as proof as you handled the blight. Sound fair? And Mogren's faithful? Bandits and horse thieves, as far as I can tell, led by a woman named Roadwith. Problem is their little group keeps growing, and they've started tearing through some of the smaller villages. They were last spotted by Searing Falls, and rumor is they're heading our direction. Stalwart's just getting its bearings. We can't afford this kind of trouble. Bring me Roadwith's head, and I'll get you a little richer for it. Okay, alrighty. Hey, they fixed the wall finally. Hey, this house is rebuilt in a new fashion. Hammond's Emporium. Is it just a store? The shopkeeper's clothes seem a little nicer, if not terribly warm compared to what you've seen around Stalwart. His hair is immaculately coiffed, and his rosy cheeks look like they've barely been touched by the mountain winds. Welcome, welcome. I've got arms and armor, all top quality. Or perhaps you'd like to see potions. Always a pleasure to meet respectable company out here anymore. Well, let's take a look, eh? A soul-bound crossbow, you say? Man, it's so nice having a lot of money. If it isn't the hero of the White Forge. You come back to check on your handiwork, or are you just here to wish me a happy retirement? You retired? You're no longer a leader? I've had enough of politics and town quarrels for this lifetime. So when Tarfos told me he was tired of the mines, I asked if he was ready to really get his hands dirty. Almost feel sorry for the guy. Who the heck is Tarfos? Oh, that guy's a bit injured there. Are you alright, pal? Bit too cold for you?
Thanks again. I'll be gone just as soon as the weather clears.
I don't know what you guys are doing. Katie.
Oh, it's you. I'm so glad you came by. I hoped I'd have the chance to thank you properly.
Who are you?
They told me what happened. God's bless you, sir. I owe you my life.
Do you?
I know it was foolish of me to run in there. But this ring is all that I have of my family.
What? Huh? Who are you? What? What's so special?
Sentiment, mostly. When he first settled here, my grandfather had a ring fashioned from the first batch of ore he excavated.
That lady.
It was supposed to commemorate his fresh start. He passed it on to his daughter, and my mother gave it to me in turn.
Well, how are you holding up, I guess, since I apparently rescued you?
Oh, I'm managing. Fenway's letting me stay with her until I'm back on my feet. Everyone's been lovely, really. It was hard seeing what's left of the house. But Rayvald says he's going to see a hut raised for me soon as they get the logs.
Uh-huh. A woman lies unconscious beneath what appears to have once been the roof. She's small, but the rubble trapping her looks heavy. Well. Nesta? Ugh. I thought I ordered ale. She might have brought me the dishwater by accident. Maybe on purpose. Can never tell. What brings you to Stalwart? I represent a group of investors from Defiance Bay who are attempting to establish a trade agreement with Stalwart. Before they're willing to commit to any agreement, they want to have the town assessed. Make sure it's as prosperous as people are claiming. That's where I come in. Well, what's your assessment of the town so far, huh? Certainly a lot of coin changing hands, but whether this is simply a short-lived boom or something that will persist long term remains to be seen.
Please,
Okay.
someone has to do something. Piss off, Kern. I got enough problems.
What are you, Kern? Decades I've lived here. We've worked and drunk together, and not one of them will lift a finger. The dwarf's face is damp and blotchy. His outbursts seem to take something out of him. He sags, his lined features showing his exhaustion. Are you drunk? I'm sorry. I've no heart for conversation. I'm sure someone in here will drink to your health. What are you whining about? Kern gives you a sour look, but it's gone quickly, replaced with a thoughtful expression. Hey, you're the one who opened the battery, aren't you? You got one of Renengild's letters, and you came here. Maybe you could help me. I've done something terrible. I'm not sure I can fix things. This neighbor of mine, Hattie, we've never gotten on at the best of times. With this land dispute, losing half my property, things have gotten out of hand. Well, kill him. It's quite simple. What? No, it's not my problem. I was deep in my cups the other night. Got to talking with a stranger. Mentioned this trouble with Hattie. He offered to take care of things for me. I thought he'd put a scare into Hattie, run him off, chase away his goats. I didn't know he was a bleak walker. A madman. I was half drunk. Thought Sevestin meant he'd speak on my behalf. But put a scare into Hattie, not kill him. Tried to call him off once I realized. He laughed, said that doesn't happen. Please, you've got to help me. Nobody else here is willing to take him on, even for the coin I'm offering. Well, I guess I'll go. I'll see what I can do. Thank you. It's all I'm asking. You're the first one to so much as try. Hattie lives out east in Whitestone Hollow. Please, hurry. Everyone's out east in the new lands, huh? Or along the trade route, I guess. Okay. So I still haven't found that new leader, so to say. Torfus. Wasn't he like a miner? Oh, there he is. Darfos. Uh-huh. Run for mayor, they said. It's an easy job, they said. Oh, I should have stayed in the mines. He notices you approach and his eyes widen. Tolstad, what brings you back to Stalwart? You're always welcome here. Hey, it's about negotiations, huh? There's a group of merchants from Defiance Bay interested in a trade agreement with Stalwart. A representative, Nesta, staying at the Gref's Rest. I've been avoiding her because I have zero experience with treaties and contracts and all that. I was a miner, not a diplomat. I didn't know it was a her, too. So, must have been all the fur. Maybe you could talk to her on my behalf. It looks at you, hopefully. As mayor, I'll give you full authority to negotiate on Stalwart's behalf. What makes you think I'm a good negotiator? I usually end most things by killing or looting. Or cruelty. Oh, I don't have the option to say no. Curses, game. Curses. Thank you. As I said earlier, you can find her at the Grave's Rest. I'm pretty busy, so unless there's something else, I'll just talk to her way later. Something strange going on in the mines, huh? Cool. So, Iron Flail Fort. I thought they said they were in the Russet Wood. Or, I guess, north of the Russet Wood? Let's go to the Russet Wood and figure out what's going on. I see Russet Wood looks pretty much the same. And there wasn't any real reason to be in the Russet Wood, so we'll just head to the Iron Flail Fort. 16 hours. Daggum. Okay. Well, let's begin a little walk around from the south. Get a little surveillance of this fort. Aha, they're very friendly, I see. Okay. What do you say? Everyone's on edge in the camp. Almost glad to be out of here. Okay.
Come on. Commander will figure it out.
Champ. Some champion you were, nerd.
Death to our
Ice treader.
enemies.
Man, they all got these lone guards just patrolling here and there. Such a bad idea.
Here, I brought you a scarf.
Oh, thanks, Mariel.
Like its neighbors, the gravestone holds a hastily scratched name.
And the fire shows me something new.
How you guys doing, huh? I can explain. Well, wait, who are you? You're that lord from Cadnua, aren't you? The woman's cheeks are rosy with embarrassment. What are you doing here? Are you here with that army? No, we're just villagers. You're well armed, considering. He squirms. Please, just keep it down. Maybe asleep on duty, but he's not the only one around. Okay, well, do you know anything about the delegates from Stalwart? Since you're the only one willing to talk? Just the obvious. They didn't do a good job of negotiating. The commander's been a fury for the past week. It's not like him. Yeah, I need to speak with your commander. Can't help you. And I don't just mean they'd string me up for it. If you'd come before the delegates arrived, you might have had a chance. As it is, it looks like we're in for a fight, and the commander's not taking any risks. I'm, not supposed to be out here. Makes 3 of us, right? Well, what can you tell me about the commander? Why is he having these nightmares? Do you know anything about him? Are you in his bed? He pulled the Iron Flail together himself. He's a good man. He believes in Rayed Saris more than anyone. He gave us our pride back. Told us to keep faith. Sometimes I think the vigilance speaks through him. Careful, he'll go on for hours if you let him. Okay. Farewell, then. Take care. Where were we? Easy. Easy. We got quite the tall perimeter around here. I can see some people in there, eh? Is that a secret wall? What is that? What do we got here, huh? The devastation to the surrounding forest stretches near to the horizon. Man, what a great job Raid Ceres has done establishing this fort, destroying nature.
You should have run!
Ringier berries. More spies? Get out! Are we spies? I don't remember being spies.
You're mine.
Okay. We've almost made a patrol. All these just lone guards. Alright, you guys want to be friendly too? The soldiers watch you warily as you approach. Once you're within speaking distance, one of them gestures with his pistol. Excuse me. That's far enough. What are you doing here? You lost? Goodness, I just got the hiccups all of a sudden. I meant to ask you the same thing. What are you doing establishing a fort here? The Iron Flail here is under the command of Adaric Sendemir, or Kendemir. And you're trespassing. What do you mean? What are you doing out here? Adaric has said that there will be a great battle. We're here to hold the pass and defend Raid Ceres. This is kind of scary. He has seen this in a dream. A battle against who, though? Who else would wish to destroy Raid Ceres? The Deerwood hungers for our lives, just as Stalwart hungered for the battery. I guess, you know, with the whole Widewind's legacy and all that, the Deerwood might be a bit upset with Raid Ceres. You've asked more than enough questions. Go on, get out of here. I won't warn you again.
They wouldn't be so tough without their fort. Or their army.
I won't warn you again. Go on. Yeah.
Lava will be on seek.
Okay. These logs seem recently cut, and from their size they once numbered among the older trees surrounding the pass. Just ahead of you, the gates to the fort remain shut fast. You spy archers moving along the tops of the watchtowers, scanning for the surroundings, and the chill breeze carries the scent of burning pitch. So I can't get into the door. Or maybe I can. Can I just walk up to it? I don't know. That might be a bad idea. But it might be the badass way, right? Just walk up to the main doors and just barge right in. Let's do that. That sounds fun. Heavy wooden gate bars entry to the fort. Armored figures skulk the periphery of the flanking towers bearing tall longbows. It would take considerable force to stage a frontal assault upon the fort. Though not a permanent structure, the fort appears remarkably sturdy. These walls could easily delay an intruding force long enough for the fort's inhabitants to rally defense. Okay. Am I not strong enough? Battering ram, yeah. Each taking up some section of the burden, you and your companions are able to haul one of the logs up and away from the rest. Improvising battering ram in tow, you march for the gates ahead. You hear a cacophony of alarmed shouts as you approach the bridge. Dark shapes run to and fro atop the towers and walkways. A line of archers forms and quickly takes aim at your company, intent on halting your progress. A volley of arrows descends upon you. I'll fire back. You take aim, but a hail of arrows sends you back under the log for shelter before you can strike. Emboldened, the archers concentrate their fire. You feel a lancing pain in your leg as an arrow strikes you, nearly sending you to your knees. Your companions are all but pinned under the barrage. Several arrows find their mark, and blood mingles with the churned snow and mud, marking your slow progress. At last you come to the gate. Together you heave the log forward and it strikes the doors with a solid crunch. You draw the log back and rush forward once more. You hear a sharp snapping sound as the posts begin to give. A sudden flurry of movement above draws your gaze. Atop the leftmost tower, a group of men is hauling a cauldron into place. They tilt it forward, aiming to spill the cauldron's contents upon your company. Well, push them all out. We don't want Aloth getting hit. You leap forward, shoving Aloth out of the line of fire. A cascade of boiling pitch pours down around you, and a portion of it spatters your leading shoulder, but Aloth is unharmed. Your remaining companions scramble for cover, their steps fouled by bubbling tar. Screams split the air as the pouring pitch finds more targets. Though the burns ache fiercely, you and your companions take up the log once more, preparing to strike the final blow. The fort's defenders shout orders, and several riflemen join the archers at the walls. Under a hail of arrows and gunfire, you make a final charge, and the gates give way with a great crash. Forward! Okay. Zawa, get over there, right there, that way. Tonk right down the middle. Take down one of the marchers.
Zawa is...
What am I doing? I need Aloth. Aloth. Pretty sure I selected you already. Okay. We don't want that. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. The fort has been assaulted. We've did it. I don't think that's all of them, though. I think that was just the initial defenders. Yeah, we took some hits there. Took some knocking. At least me and Durance did, I guess. Everyone else is fine. Adair's got good armor. Zawa's agile, I guess. Mainha doesn't care about pain. And I saved Aloth. Hot pitch roils ominously within this deep cauldron. I led her home. My love, I've enclosed some coins from Stalwart, so you have proof that I arrived. You were right. I am colder than I have ever been. All the more so for being away from you. The Kith here are as cold as their land. They do not hate us as the dear Woodens do, but they are mistrustful and proud. The commander has sent for delegates to start negotiations. Perhaps by the time this letter reaches you, we will have moved into Durgan's battery. Stalwart has no soldiers, only a handful of guards. Ephraim says he went to look at the battery with some scouts and did not see anyone posted atop the tower. Without those cannons, they would be foolish to do anything but surrender. If not, we're sure to knock the fight right out of them quickly. The commander says that once the battery is ours, our presence here alone may be enough to make the invaders think twice. Who would face us with the might of the battery at our backs? I write too much of battle, but only to assure you that we are well. I miss you. The mountains are beautiful. I hold hope that you may see them for yourself, once it is safe for you to join us. Well, what a sorry sucker.
Death to
Got
our
killed
enemies.
by the tall stag. Oh, we got more. This trebuchet is disassembled but intact.
Ulu Sen.
Okay.
A simple test. That's settled.
A gentle rap elicits a hollow sound. This cask is almost empty. Why do they have a bunch of pigs here? Can I pick them up? Iron Flail! That warlock had them screaming, running away. Some more dogs.
This fight is mine!
Just a bit more of everything here. It's a teeny tiny little battery with cookies on it! A few enterprising individuals have carved crude figures into the wooden logs of the latrine. Mmm. Hey, what? Ah!
Hey, well, hey! That's how it's done!
Yeah. You gotta be awake, pal. Buddy old my man. There's some more over here. We got a paladin. But just the one.
That's how it's done!
So like I say, raid Saren soldiers don't carry a bunch of money. The tents hold little. You spy boots, drying tunics, and the very occasional book. Oh yeah, raid Saris isn't very literate, are they? What we got there, huh? The spigot on this cask exudes a thick chemical stench. Mangled wool skins and straw provide the bedding in this kennel. All of it stinks of dog. And there's a puppy. About cleared the camp yet? Okay, here's the command post. Head back over here. Take care of this. A few guys. Have we wiped out their army yet?
You should have run! That's it!
Alrighty, that's a lot of money in that crate. Just take me down there. Okay. A peek under the tarp reveals barrels marked as powder stores. Okay. That's pretty much got this place covered. Okay. Let's head into the command post.
Enough! I've had my fill of... What's this? Steady, men. Our guest has arrived.
The Iron Flail commander is a young man. Lean in build, his brown hair is unkempt, his eyes fevered. At his feet is a grate, set over what appears to be a pit. You hear a smattering of anxious cries rising from the cell as the commander steps forward. That's a rather elegant cell you got there.
All that chaos outside. For an instant, I believed you, woman.
What? Oh, he's probably talking about one of the prisoners.
But he's only a common assassin.
Oh yeah, you must be the commander.
Yes. Those were my men you slaughtered out there, you.
Dark's words die in his throat, his expression frozen mid-snarl. It isn't clear what's happened, not until you start to feel it too. We're bonded. Unbidden, your senses drift as if you had reached out toward a source of essence. You feel an ache in your chest, an almost painful sensation of being pulled forward. Oh, he's a watcher too. That's what's happening. A sudden wave of memories floods your mind. Clear as the day they formed. You see Adema's campsite, ravaged by the Beowick. The halls of Cadnua. In the caverns beneath the keep, the stone around you bellows warnings in a dead language. Deeper still, a fanged maw parts like a wound in the world. The images wash over you, tracing lives and emotions from 100 different times and places. Not all are your own. Slowly, you become aware of the sensation of being watched. So reach out then. Face him. You direct your senses, tracing the invasion to its source. Adaric. Conviction burns through him bright as a brazier. For an instant you share in his emotion, and a sourceless desperation rattles about your skull. Absent context, the fragments of memory you see are just images. A small house across a field of vibrant purple flowers, a sea of armored kith and flapping banners waiting on your command. There's an uncomfortable moment where you feel your twinned awareness turning in on itself, and then the connection is severed. Adaric looks startled, his face ashen. You're a watcher!
You sure he's not just a weirdo with an empty stare? I get those confused a lot.
I mean, it felt weird.
That's not...
Adaric glances around the room, his face coloring.
That's not known to many. Not past these walls.
Is like being a watcher a bad thing in Red Saris?
Why have you come? Why now?
About our mutual condition.
You've come all this way to indulge your curiosity?
Why are you ashamed of it?
It's hardly something to be proud of. Look to your own sins, Watcher. I'll not share mine.
Are you as tired of listening to dead people as I am?
You add to their number by the day. Does it not strike you as a fitting punishment?
I can't often read living memories so clearly. That felt like a cipher reading.
I wouldn't know. Perhaps we simply worsen each other's condition.
Maybe.
What? What is it?
I thought all watchers were mad.
That wouldn't bode well for you, would it?
Dark's tone is irritable, but he watches you with wary interest.
I've a firm grip on my senses, whatever you believe. The Watcher's curse is many things, but if it promised madness, I would not have taken command of the Iron Flail.
Okay.
The memories I saw, some of them couldn't have belonged to you. You're awakened, aren't you?
Do you know of a cure? Dark stares at you. Eventually, he gives a slight shake of the head.
It seems a terrible thing to be awakened and a watcher both. I'm sorry.
Are you also awakened?
No, of course not.
Enough about
yes,
that.
We were in the middle of something, I believe.
What did these people do to make you throw them in a pit?
Stalwart sent delegates to discuss terms of peace. I offered them the opportunity. I was generous.
Yeah.
But Stalwart sent soothsayers, not diplomats, to frighten us with stories of the moon going dark, the earth shaking.
Yeah?
I would speak to the people who have seen these wild visions to compare notes.
Of course. They sound so far away. A shrill voice suddenly rises up from the pit. A dark stomps down angrily on the bars, drowning her out. You guys may have not have heard all that, but there was voice acting for that, but it was so quiet and it sounded so far away. Perhaps you and I can talk now.
You're nothing more than a mercenary for a village of people unwilling to put their own lives on the line.
You don't think you overacted a little?
Don't play the fool with me. These omens are meant to frighten me, to make me doubt my purpose here. But there is more at stake here than a village in the mountains.
Oh, yeah?
They dismiss my faith, call us superstitious. But what does Stalwart believe in? Iron and gold, and nothing else.
Well, I mean, that's what makes them money. What's wrong with that?
I have tilled barren fields with my bare hands. What is gold to me?
It's something to buy food with. What do you want with Stalwart anyway?
With a village of fishermen, nothing. But they cling fiercely to the forge you gave them.
Well?
Some of the men are here for gold and good steel, and I promised them their share. But I came for cannons.
Cannons?
With the battery's cannons, we can hold the pass.
Hold the pass against what?
Rayed Saris has suffered enough. Its sons and daughters have nothing.
He looks at Adair, jaw working.
We won't survive an attack from the Deerwood when it comes. Not unless we act.
You think the Deerwood's going?
There is an army coming. I've seen it. Pouring down from the mountain. It will crush Stalwart and come for Rayed Saris.
Coming down from the mountain? You do realize the Deerwood isn't mountainous. At least not in the way you're thinking.
The iron flail will be the wall that safeguards my homeland from the worst these fire worshippers can bring to bear.
I, too, had a vision of an army.
I warn you, if you think to taunt me, Watcher.
I saw Cadnua reduced to rubble by an army that shook the earth. Doubt creases Adaric's brow. His men exchange looks, waiting tensely for orders.
Why would they turn on their own? No. You're trying to trick me. This is all another distraction.
I remember thunder and 100 eyes gazing back at me. Any of that sound familiar?
The thunder followed me to the temple at Dawn's Reach, and the earth split beneath our feet.
You read my soul. What did that tell you?
That you are a man of your word.
That's right.
And that you have seen and done a great many things. Things I would not have otherwise believed.
Then believe me now, there is another way. For several moments there is nothing but silence in the cabin. Then you hear the scrape of metal as Adaric takes up his sword, only to lay it flat across his palms.
I led my people here because I believed we were on the right path. I bound my soul to this blade as proof of my surety.
There is a ripple of soul energy in the air, there and gone. Adaric looks pained.
The sword's no good to me now. It's yours. For as long as you can wield it.
Steadfast.
I'll call in our forces from the mountains. Please, give me time to explain. You should speak with Stalwart's messengers. Perhaps you'll get some answers out of them.
Perhaps I will. Rollen was granted Sever the Soul. Well, it's a little bit of a shame that we didn't get to deal with him. It's a pretty solid sword. Combined with anyone. Now we unlock the cell key. Or cell. Dwarven delegate. Oh, thank you. I thought we'd never get out of there. You're lucky I was in the area. Don't we know it? I'm not sure I could stand another night in that pit. I don't know how you managed to talk that man down. He was practically foaming at the mouth. And now he and his men are still skulking around the mountains. Not sure letting him live was the best idea. The commander wasn't the problem. The delegate points an accusing finger at another, a woman standing apart from the rest. Yeah, she doesn't look like someone from Stalwart. We might have come to terms if she hadn't goaded him, shouting at him about omens and curses, demanding he leave the march. You know how superstitious the Raid Sarens are. The commander went white as a sheet. She sabotaged the meeting. The woman in question is dressed in unassuming robes. She bears the accusation silently, her eyes closed as if in prayer. You put all of Stalwart at risk for what? With desperate speed, the woman suddenly lunges sidelong towards a nearby rack and seizes a dagger lying there. She sets the blade to her own throat. Okay. Bah! I'll just read her soul, I guess. Unseen to all but yourself, the dying woman's soul essence coils in thin wisps about her body. It only grows brighter as her corpse stills. The remaining delegates stare in horror at her pooling blood. Manha kneels by the dying woman and inspects her robes. She examines a crescent medallion hanging around the woman's neck. She's one of, man, what was her name? Andra? Andra. What just happened? Damn it. Now we'll never get an answer out of her. I'll get an answer out of her. Don't you worry about that. You reach out and brace against the sudden flare of pain and fear, digging after less recent events. There's a copper taste in your mouth and a pain like fire in your throat. Under the brute terror of death, you find a comforting thread of resolve, of satisfaction in duty fulfilled. You follow it. It leads you stumbling into another memory, as whole and vivid as the first. You walk the dark halls of an abbey, dimly lit and quiet, your footsteps loud. A blur, and you are standing in a dimly lit room, facing a robed Mawa. You recognize him as Kauto, the High Abbot. He beckons you forward. Examine the surroundings first. You are in a wide, rounded chamber. The tiles beneath your feet are covered in strange, curling symbols. You recognize them as symbols of Andra, goddess of sea and memory. The memory blurs when your sight is clear. You are standing in front of Kauto, and he is smiling gently down at you.
Drive the Raid Sarens from these mountains, and you may yet spare many lives.
And now this High Abbot's going to have his own dreams and memories and be like, you know what? I think the Raid Sarens are the invading army. Clearly not. Everyone's terrified of some coming force.
The Tidebringer will be here in a week's time. Should you be delayed in your travels, report to him as you would to me. He will enter the reliquary and call off the army of Iris in my stead.
What?
If you are caught, sister, you know what you must do. I will pray for your return, but we will take comfort in the knowledge that you have joined the rest of Andra's favorite in her keeping.
What? The words jar you loose from the memory, flinging you back into the moment of the woman's death and then into your own skin, but traces of her memory join yours. You know the path to the Abbey, to which she was to return, buried in the mountains to the north. Is the name Eyeless familiar to anyone? The Eyeless? They're a figure of speech for when you can't remember something. You say, must be the Eyeless took it from me. Yes, but there's story to it. They're supposed to do the bidding of the Lady of Lament. Of Andra? You telling me the Eyeless, who is like Andra, doesn't like... You know what? I could be mistaken. Lady of Lament may be something else. No, Andra points and they come out of nowhere. Wipe things from the face of the world. Okay, so Andra sent an army after Abaddon's followers at the battery, and now the battery is reawoken, and so the Eyeless are coming once again. That's why whenever something up and goes missing or gets destroyed with no one there to see it, you're supposed to thank Andra that the Eyeless didn't come for you too. Do you know a Kauto? Alto? Oh yes, he came through town some time back. Stopped by at the temple in Stalwart. This was just after the town decided to rededicate it to Abaddon. He didn't seem too pleased about it. He was dressed like a priest. Maybe he took offense. He's an Amawa, tall fellow, very polite, considering he's apparently the leader of some fanatical sect. I think it's clear we haven't been the best judges of character recently. Do you know what a Tidebringer is? Tidebringer? That's something they used to talk about at the Temple of Honor, I think. It's a person, a title. I mean, tends to be used in the more devout circles. Anything about an abbey to the north? I've heard of something like that. An Andrite stronghold, not the kind of place that welcomes visitors. That sounds like the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. Is that where she came from? It's where I'll find a reliquary to call off an army, apparently. What? Another one? God, it feels like everyone on Aeor is after the battery now. Yeah, apparently so. Why would these Andrites want the Raid Sarens out? I doubt it's for Stalwart's benefit. Competition, maybe? Well, I better go ask them, I guess. If you do mean to go out to this abbey, be careful. There have been stories about traders wandering north and getting scared off, or even killed by strange guards. That's the place, all right. They're a secretive bunch, I suppose you could try to sneak in. Doubt you'll be welcome otherwise. It sounds like this Tidebringer would be. Welcome, I mean. Time to crack some skulls. Well, you'll get your fill of fighting, I'm sure. A sudden, deafening crash from outside makes the delicate jump. Startled, a rumbling like thunder follows. You hear further sounds of smashing timbers, panicked screaming. Oh no, what's happening? I thought you took care of the soldiers. I guess I'll go find out. Yes, well, we'll wait here, inside. Oh, goodness gracious. Thunderous steps, but we're out of time for today. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode of Pillars of Eternity. It's getting real tense and maybe a little bit scary, because we still don't know about the Eyeless. The dwarves didn't kill a single one as far as I could tell. There was no large skeletons in their halls. Can we even fight the Eyeless? Well, I think only time will tell, but good thing we convinced the Iron Flail commander, despite us, devastating his army, to help us in the end. Because of his Watcher powers and my Watcher powers, we could possibly put an end to the Eyeless, or do something about it. The enemy of my enemy is my ally. Is that the right quote? I'm pretty sure it is. Something along those lines. Anyways, this is Master Barker from Brio Recording, signing off.